Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am. Perhaps somebody will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a clementine if not. So I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's your girl Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to entertain, to disagree with somebody in here.
Oh, Auntie, she's
But
looking at
really,
you.
really, I am looking at somebody.
It's our favorite duo. It's our favorite duo.
But no, for real though, I'm just here to have a good time. Just, yeah, get some vibes. And in terms of my relationship status, I am single, doing interviews. I'm not just going for anybody. But yeah, that's how it is.
Doing interviews. Okay, so there's probably some beef between those two. The way she looked at her, there's some beef between these two.
Jenny here, 54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
I think they're gonna be on each other's team. Okay, I'm gonna posit it so much, but I think they're gonna be on each other's team because one thing that I've learned is like the older women, you know, a lot of them. I can't say all of them. The older women, they typically don't have a problem with the stuff that Andrew Tate says. Like it's only a specific type of woman that has a problem with the things that Andrew Tate say. Like the women who, you know, carry themselves as women, the women who aren't interested in going out and hot girl summer and everything, they typically don't really disagree with Andrew Tate. That's what I've noticed.
Thank you guys.
I bet you do.
Yeah, well, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Absolutely.
Why are you
Don't
being
get-
mean
Don't be
already?
direct. I don't really
Say
care.
it.
If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it.
So
If I've
basically,
got
I'll
something
say
to
it.
I already got my
just say
teammate.
it. Just say it.
100%.
Hey, Auntie, I
Yeah.
beg, give the girl a chance to speak now and relax.
What girl?
Hey,
What have I said?
this one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the elephant
What
in
have
the
I
room,
said?
innit?
Listen, I don't believe in no elephants in the
build
room.
yourself up,
If there's
like-
something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. If you got something to say to me, I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand?
This generation, they are so direct. Like they look at the youth and all they see are people who are sensitive. They really went through discrimination and things of that nature. Like they're gonna tell it. They're gonna tell it to you whether you like it or not, and I respect that.
So if you got something to say, just say it. We're all
Me?
big. No, I'm just saying, we're just all big people here. So if I want
Okay.
to say something to you, I'm going to say something to you straight like I normally do.
Yes.
If I got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really care. Andrew Tate, my son's older than him, so I don't give a damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I got to say. So whoever don't like it, that's tough. Don't come. You
You
shouldn't
missed
be
out
here.
Brittany.
Okay,
I
Auntie.
feel picked on.
Okay, so
And Brittany too, right? Even Pearl too. Feel
Damn,
better now.
even
yeah,
Pearl,
Auntie,
shit.
Auntie gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day, so
Oh.
she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't play.
Okay, so my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I can say something.
Come on,
'Cause
ladies.
everybody's
Everybody's
gonna
going to
say-
educate
you know,
me.
the number
Sit
one
here and
problem.
fucking answer all the questions. Come on, tell
The
me.
number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Ooh.
That's a good paradigm to start from because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what?
1,000%. Like there's so much gray area that there's a certain things that as a man, the better you are at knowing that gray area, knowing where you need to toe your line, the more successful you're going to be with women. For example, if a woman, you know, your lady says, hey, does this make me look fat? There's just no way to tell your woman that she looks fat, you know, unless you're just, you know, rolling in money or you develop some type of relationship where you're just straight, which is the best way to do it, honestly. But even then, you know, it just causes problems. It's not worth the hassle. It's better just to say what they want to hear in certain situations. And men, and the sooner you understand that as a man, the more successful you are with women.
It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. But it is because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves. And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have. And it's becoming harder and harder, and you end up with people, top G's who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
What about them?
Well,
Should I say what the problem
I
with
would
women
say
is? I'll tell you.
Well,
go on.
everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my Clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Definitely.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why
0%.
just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
Yeah.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson.
And the crazy thing is, and it's important for men, you have to build a friend group or at least some type of like network where you got people who got your best interests. You know, they'll check you before it even gets there. You know, in the perfect world, you never want to fall out of line. You always want to be on your shit. But, you know, life is difficult. You know, we're not going to complain about it, but it is. So it's good to have friends. And that's the thing about men. Men, we hold each other accountable. So if you do some shit, if you're falling off with your shit, your homeboy, he going to be like, yo, man, what are you doing? Get your shit together. You about to fuck up. Like, men have to hold each other accountable. Men have to hold each other accountable. Like, accountability is key to men.
That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think, I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
No, because don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
They
saying-
can look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna lie. I don't agree with what you just said because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women.
Okay, yeah. You see, guys, she's lost. She's lost. I knew something was off with her. I already am catching. She's trying to argue that women are trying to change themselves by getting cosmetic surgery. You missed the conversation topic completely. You getting a BBL, you getting ass shots or a boob job or whatever, that's not working on yourself to better yourself. If anything, that's exactly what we're talking about with this microwave society.
Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not accountable for
no.
themselves. They
Wait.
think that because they're a man, you're gonna be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing.
Exactly.
Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not
Yes,
happy.
they
The
to
real
change
stuff.
how they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would
Yep.
rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man who most, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation and can't sit on a plane because her arse has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there on her stomach. You think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house. She's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. Ooh. And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
Damn!
You take everything off. Women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook. Learn to wash by hand. Learn to please a man.
That is so outdated,
That's what you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
I love how she says it's outdated when she's living proof that it's not outdated at all. Like, if she could tell anyone how it's not outdated, she could be the poster woman. And that's what I mean. She's not really trying to help women. She just doesn't want to take accountability. She's here to blame and deflect and to empower women who love blaming and deflecting. It's simple.
She's right.
Girl.
That's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport when we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, "Would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook?" And most guys
they want this.
But I think that's
for
more,
the
I
quick
think,
satisfaction.
But I think that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm
Definitely.
trying to say is that if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man, right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can suck head just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
I mean, honestly, any woman with a mouth can give head. Like, that's the equivalent of a guy. When you ask a guy, what does he have to offer? And he says, good dick. I mean, let's just be real. If a guy says that, you just know he's a bum. He's couch surfing. He's fucking around. Like, he can't retain a woman. And that's a part of accountability that I'm talking about. Women will swear. You've never heard a woman say that, you know, her sex is trash. All these women have amazing head game and everything. When you can only suck a dick so many ways, you know, just to keep it a thou wow.
You can't say attraction's not important, though.
Talking to your mic.
You can't say attraction is not important, though.
It is important.
For you to initially, exactly. A man is not going to find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's going to find you attractive and he's going to...
Okay, let's ask Andrew.
He's gonna,
Andrew, would you be with
a
girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, well, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster, because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better job. It's why I want more money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Without
That's what
complaining.
men want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, let's be serious about this.
Have you had the Gok 3000?
No.
And you see, she's over here. Have you had the guac? She believes that she has some magical head technique that's just gonna captivate all these men and make them into, people who want to give her a ring. Even though it's obviously not happening. She's taking interviews and shit for men. Like, listen to what we're saying. And the crazy thing is, men, we know if a woman's really good at doing things, then that means that she does it a lot. Like some guys, they enjoy a woman who's unexperienced in something because you can always get good at that. That's nothing. If anything, that's like at the bottom of the list. Like that's customary. Like what are we talking about? Is that like some magical privilege? It's crazy.
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, "I'll be the best sex you ever had," I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit. What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius, spoken like a true one. That is true.
My man's a Sagittarius.
Listen, well,
My man's a Sagittarius.
so basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker of between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf. Because our problems are on a societal level, less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because
the
the
patriarchy
that runs this. The West
It's always been that way.
Yeah, but then think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So
how can she say that when you go to the trench work or whatever, that people don't agree with what he says? You don't become the most Googled man in the world. You don't become an overnight phenomenon to where you're a household name. Everybody knows who you are. Even kids in elementary school know who you are. That doesn't happen from people not agreeing with you. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, come on. For you to say that, like, that's disingenuous.
My job here is really not to try and make it about men and women. Is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women because
they're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious, he came back with honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you'd go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here, and I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. Mm-hmm. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men. because
Yeah.
there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers.
And that's the amazing thing about the world, though. Like, you get what you give, you know? And I think the sad thing is the men who aren't competing to their full potential, they know that they're underachieving. You know? That's why when you hear someone like Andrew Tate, it's really motivational. That's why a lot of men will gravitate, because it gives you that push that you need to hear in a society that wants to keep you docile.
So it's hard out here.
Balance.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look
No.
after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media. 9 to 5. I've got our own property. 32 years. Happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not
Oh.
old-fashioned. It works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
What
it
I'm
does.
trying to say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and men have
difference is-
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
Like that.
I wanna know
as
what-
he said,
I want to know what
Thank
I wanna know what
you.
she's after.
I'll have this on after
I
this
want to know what she's
point.
after. She's going to go home and dry that now.
It's the
put it in a-
Clementine.
Wait, it is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that the same way that a society evolved, it made men feel less purpose. They have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things, and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of,
What a
you
load
know.
of bollocks. What's a load of rubbish? That ain't what I'm saying.
No. Oh,
You get a 9-to-5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9-to-5 person, right? You can function underneath that, because I'm always hearing the women say, "Oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money." Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9-to-5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew
There's
Tate.
always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, "No, I want Chris Brown." And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, "I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated." Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, "Oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that," men like me don't have to be, and you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do?
They
Because
don't.
you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're
They're
still
gonna-
texting
They're
me.
going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that
So
girls
who-
make.
so whose fault is this? This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, "No, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to
No,
accept he
they-
ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
they like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to
I think that's somewhat true to an extent, though. Just hear me out. Just walk with me. All right. I know it sounds crazy, but what I've noticed is when a woman is really into you, when she is at her best, where she's competing for your attention, it's when she feels like her spot is in jeopardy. If you like, it's going to sound fucked up, but there's been past relationships where I've done things here and there, and on the outside looking in, you'd be like, "Damn, he was a bad boyfriend or whatever." But in all honesty, those were the women that treated me the best, as crazy as it sounds, because it was this thing where when a woman really likes you and feels like you can get bitches, when a woman feels like you're Himothy, she don't even want you going to the grocery store. You can't even go to the gym. You can't go nowhere. She's gonna be like, "Who are you messing with?" And every single day, she's going to try her hardest to prove to you why you need to stay with her. But if she doesn't have that threat, if you're not him, if you don't even have your shit together, then she don't give a fuck about you. She's going to do what she wants to do. She's going to post what she wants to post. She's going to go where she wants to go because you're just a placeholder. You're replaceable. You know, you got to find your niche. You got to find your thing. You know, but there is some truth in women being attracted to men who can cheat. I can't straight out say it's cheating, but the men who have that ability, the men who women can bring around their friends and their friends be like, damn, girl, you did good. They definitely know there's that cheating aspect that comes with it.
No, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about. And it's like,
Who
it's like
only
that's the
talks
one-
about that?
The regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the show.
Brittany Renner, you made a whole career off of talking about that. I mean, come on.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to
Accountable
him and say,
for what? Accountable for accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
How
So
can
you're
you say?
okay-
How can you
you're okay-
say that? Are you
You're
joking?
okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's haram.
No, because
Oh, it's around when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been in the history of humanity across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever. Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting.
The thing about this that's interesting is I don't see why a lot of like modern women will kind of make that argument for, to be promiscuous, because the average woman does not want to be promiscuous. The last thing a woman wants to be recognized as is promiscuous. Like that breaks a girl's heart when everybody knows that you slept with so-and-so, It's only the women who are numb to it that walk around and say they don't give a fuck because they have no choice but not to give a fuck. A la Brittany Renner.
So yes, we are completely and utterly different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his life and ticks every single box, and if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. And I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different, so buckle up. It's different. It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why. It is impossible for a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself, because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men, and all of them are either high-value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just gonna go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da-da-da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They
Amen.
look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, Esther, 1 second. Sir, may I ask you a question? What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
Haram.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So
Yes.
let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
But no, I'm asking. Do
Okay,
you know?
I ask, what if they're different races? One
Answer
white,
the
one black.
question.
You don't know.
Answer the question.
You don't know. Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are. At least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just
It's
say...
disgusting.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
Oh, oh yeah, I saw that. May I
I've seen
just say
that.
something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you, at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's haram, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand, I'm talking about humans. You have to look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago, if a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job, she couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say, I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted, because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, Shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity or at least a low body count or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me and put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then for survival, women needed a man. Otherwise, when they were pregnant, they could die and all of these things, they would perish. In today's society, given evolution, given the fact that as women we can go
Still
and
need
get...
men.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Isn't there a glitch between what is actually happening and the nature of what we have in our bodies? I think that's probably the conflict that we're having right now.
Glitch in what way?
In the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps
that's
like
right.
naturally.
It's very interesting. Women don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bullshit. And it's bullshit because you still need men by proxy, 1, and 2, the second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go, I'm independent, I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans, and if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on fucking men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened, or times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the fucking window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or there's a fucking broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing. I'll make a point here, which is going to get me canceled again, but I don't give a fuck. But this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. The point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This has been the whole point of war since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against the Hindus. It doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they were prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology. Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who could defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you would learn very quickly it's bullshit. I had a friend in Afghanistan when Taliban kicked America out. And he told me the Americans were telling the girls they could go to school. So they built all these girls' schools, and they put the Afghanistani Defense Forces there, and they funded the Afghanistani Defense Forces to protect these schools. You had American satellites, you had night vision goggles. Taliban were afraid to attack. America leaves. Now you have Afghani Defense Forces. They're basically blind. They don't have satellites anymore. Don't have night vision, whatever. So now it's a real war. The men are standing next to this girls' school. The Taliban are coming. You're some dude. You're standing there, and you're looking at this girls' school going, I don't really give a fuck if girls go to school. Bounce. And you didn't fight. So that's why they all gave up and Taliban took over so quickly. And when I said this, the girls like, yeah, they should have fought for us, feminism. Why don't the women fight?
Can I ask?
Oh, wait, the women can't defend their own fucking idea. You need men to defend feminism. So that's why the whole thing is stupid. Because the second men don't defend it, it just fails as a fucking ideology. It's garbage.
May I tell you something now? So this is the thing. This is when we assume that women perhaps don't have the physical or even mental ability to go to a war. Wait. Because this is the thing. For example, in Ukraine, a lot of women took up arms. And in fact, I'm Angolan. I'm Angolan.
She is not about to sit here and argue that there are women who can compete with men physically. I'm not gonna sit here and argue about who's superior or anything. Like, come on, we're past that conversation. But let's be honest. Physically, men outdo women. When it comes to physical confrontations, if you had to bet money, you had to bet your last dollar, you're putting it on the man.
Wait, I'm Angolan. And
Don't lie
listen,
to the people at home.
Wait, no worries. I'll talk about my personal
you wanna
story.
Go to war? You
No,
wanna fight
wait,
the front
let me
lines?
tell you. Let me tell you something. This is the thing. I think it's also really like silly to assume that, for example, a woman, because she didn't go to school, she'll not be as intelligent as a man. Therefore, naturally, a woman is not intelligent. No, it doesn't make sense. If we're now starting to normalize equality and we want to put everybody in the forefront, give a woman a
Who's
gun.
normalising equality?
Well, that's what people are wanting. Then that's
People
the case.
like who?
Let me tell you,
Who
Auntie.
wants to normalise equality?
Modern women like her. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Because what she's insinuating is that's what y'all want. Speak for yourselves. That's what I mean. It's a specific group of women who feel this way. It's just they're really loud. They're on social media. They're on TikTok. And they get pushed to the forefront. I feel like a lot of women don't want things the way that it's going. They really don't, because it's making it harder for women.
People like feminists. Who else
No,
wants to?
well, actually, no equality. I want respect. That's really
Yeah,
all I
you
What's
want.
stopping you from getting respect?
Exactly.
No.
I get respect. What's
I
stopping
get
you from
respect.
getting respect?
I get respect.
but
That's
you
what I
just
want.
said
That's
you
what I
want
like.
respect.
What I think is
You don't even know.
And you see, this goes back to accountability. I know I'm pausing, but look, I have to say this. This goes down to accountability. As a man, if you want respect, then you understand. Look, I gotta have status. Like Andrew Tate says, you understand that you gotta have that. You gotta make you gotta make money. You gotta live a life that's meaningful. The thing is, these modern women, not all of them, they know what it takes to be respected in the eyes of men. They just don't want to compete. They just don't want to do it. They rather change the mold completely. And all I'm saying is, you don't see any guy saying, hey, I want to be a bum. I want to live in my mom's basement, and I want to have tens. Those guys who are bums, who live in their mom's basement, they sit around and they fap off all day. And they're fine with it. And they know that's the best that they're going to get. And they simp over e-girls. That's just what they do. At least take accountability and be like, look, I don't care about respect from the men. That's why I move so masculinely.
Know what you want.
I'll tell you what I
Don't know
want.
what you want. You want
As a
equality,
woman, I
and you want
carry myself
respect.
differently. I actually hold the things that I have done in the fights that I fought. I hold it. That's why when you speak to me, I don't move different. I move different to many of the girls. That's why when you talk to me and you argue with me, I don't take
argue
it.
with
You do sometimes.
you.
And
I
I'll
don't
tell you
argue.
something. A lot of women
School
may
you.
have the accolades to be somebody, but they are uncomfortable to own that. And the reason why, then I would like to ask you, for example, I do need a man, for example, to, procreate. But other than that, I'm quite strong. And I would find a way to protect myself differently. With that mentality, what would be the man that would be for me then?
Denava, what would you do if one of these security guards broke into your door?
What would I do?
She'd get her ass whooped.
Okay, I'll tell
What would you do? What would
One,
you do? No, seriously, there's no guns here.
She's a feminist.
I'll
She's a
tell you.
feminist.
No, I'm not a
She was
feminist.
strict and say, take
I'm
me.
not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter.
Okay,
Either
okay,
I'd play
these
dead.
two guys.
One. Yeah.
Okay, they see you're not dead.
It's okay.
They
No,
see
I'd
you
be like
breathing.
this, and then if
Hold
not,
on. Wait a minute. How? She just said, I'm not a feminist. I'm a bit smarter. And she said this with a straight face, y'all. I think she's being dead ass. She said, I would play dead. Just think about that. Do we realize how stupid that is? That is stupid as hell. Because just imagine you break into a house and you see somebody laying on the floor, playing dead. Are you really going to believe that person is dead? Do people just lay around dead inside of houses? It's like, oh, look, isn't it just my lucky day? I broke into a house and the person whose house I broke into is dead. Let me just walk around. I'm like, they're going to tell you to get your ass up. This is what I mean. You watch too many movies. You're going to hide under the bed and play dead. And they're just going to be like, whoa, dude, look. There's a dead person under the bed. I didn't kill her. Let's get out of here. Don't touch anything. Like, come on.
Or maybe I would kind of like be very gentle and comply to find a way to get out of it.
so
If they want to come and kill me,
let's make an
there's not
important
much that
point.
many people
But
can
let's
do.
make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with
Equity.
completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets fucked up. We try and pretend it's all the
Yes.
same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight in war. There's no fucking women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go fucking die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see fucking men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai, chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is a fucking lie. It's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at
No
other
way.
things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. That's what
Yeah.
happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be fucking zero feminists left. Zero. You would all need men. That's the bottom line of reality. That's the bottom line. So you have to understand as a woman and say, okay,
But no
I need a
one's
man who's good at being a
saying-
man.
But no one's saying that we don't need men in society. Of course we do. We're talking about relationships. Yeah, you're strong, but the thing is, I can live my life as a woman and not need a man.
What's a woman?
That's a whole nother video.
In my day-to-day life, I don't need a man to fix my car. I'll just go to the mechanic.
But listen, right?
I
this-
don't-
But is the mechanic a man or a woman?
No, I'm saying yes, we need men in society, but in relationships, the only reason I actually need you is because I want you. I don't actually need you.
Do you know what?
To have
That's
babies.
what-
I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, I don't need you in my day-to-day life.
What if
You know
someone, what if someone breaks into your house?
I'll just call the police.
Okay, what if they don't come? What if the average
Play
in
dead.
In the US it takes like
She keeps on saying play dead. She literally thinks that she's eating with that response. Like, she thinks that's a good response. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I feel like there's a problem with humility. Like, no man wants to die alone. Men will admit, hey, I need a woman in my life. I need women in my life. It's like these women, they're so stuck in their ego. You know, these modern women, they have a problem with saying, hey, I need a man in my life. If I live my life without a man, I'm going to be miserable. And there's something wrong with that. That used to just be common sense.
like 15
And give him everything.
in the US it takes like 15
That
minutes
is-
for them to
but
get
that's
there.
not realistic.
What-
That
okay,
doesn't
okay, no,
happen on
okay,
a
okay,
day-to-day
okay.
life.
These
Wow.
two guys in your house, what are you doing?
But that's not realistic. I've not had any man break into my house on a day-to-day.
No, but the
It
point-
doesn't
the point-
happen.
the point is-
so let's
That's
be
kinda true.
realistic now.
I know what you're saying, but the point is this. The point is, when we're talking about feminism as a whole demonizes men. And you just sat and said, besides procreation, I don't need a man in my life. I can go to a male mechanic or call a male police officer. They're men. So
In
it's
society, you are needed.
societally,
I
yeah.
agree.
Okay,
Of
so-
course, we need you.
Of course. So you're talking about being with a man because you want to. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, why would you want to be with a man?
Why would a man want to be with you?
Because they're sexy.
Like,
I feel like because of the companionship.
They got something
And we just
between
talk
their
about men.
legs.
Sorry, I love men.
No,
I love
we
dick.
don't
Okay?
sound like it, but it's not all about dick. What I'm trying to say is
No,
that in a good relationship, right, one that works, there's blue jobs and there's pink jobs, right? And that's the problem that women have got.
Oh, gee.
They don't want to
she
be doing no
knows.
pink jobs.
But that's not
Do you know
what we're
what I mean?
talking
I don't even
about.
think that's what we're talking about.
We're talking about relationships. Why do you need a man in a relationship? Because you want a partner.
What
What's
about-
Companionship,
Because
friendship,
you want
romantic
someone
love,
to-
things that you can't get by
romantic,
yourself.
Like you want to go on dates with him. It's not about I need someone to fix my car. Like go to a mechanic. You're not safe. Call the police.
Not
like
true.
it's not that
Wait,
deep.
what about a father to your kids? You don't think your kids don't need a
Exactly.
dad?
can be
I
around.
definitely want that. These are the stuff. This is the
But
reason
no,
I
you
need a man.
that. That's
And
not-
I
that's not-
agree.
Wait. It's not that you want it. You need it.
I agree. And these are the stuff that I need in a man. But it's like at the end of the day, it's not like I completely need you. It's
But
like I want you.
But the whole
an
point is
ego
if
thing.
the lights went out tomorrow, you would need a man.
in
There's no-
society,
in soc-
agree.
Why do we
In
act like women are so
relationships, no.
I'm
useless?
saying-
It's
I'm
not that
saying-
I can
deep.
change a
No,
tire.
I'm saying if the lights went out tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you. You
Yes,
would.
of course.
Can
in
I answer?
society, not my boyfriend.
I'll go
Can I ask a
underground.
question?
Half of my exes can't even do anything.
Can I? Well, yo, poor
That's
choice,
actually another
poor
problem.
choice.
A lot of men can't do much.
Do you know what I mean?
Not everybody's
in this day
strong.
and age, in this day and age, guys can't even
Listen,
fit a tire.
You cannot.
Okay, you see, and this is what I'm talking about. I hate these types of arguments because really all these arguments do is expose what type of woman that's talking. When a woman sits here and starts complaining about broke dudes or dudes who don't know how to change cars, simple things like how to change a tire. I feel like the average man knows how to change a tire. Don't get me wrong, masculinity is leaving. You know, we are losing masculinity. They are trying to reshape it, but I do feel like a lot the average man knows how to change a tire if he had a father in his life. So why don't you just admit and just say, hey, I fuck niggas who don't take care of me and who don't know how to change tires. That's a you thing. You don't know how to choose men who know how to get the basic necessities done. That's you. Take accountability. Don't say men in general. That's the men that you choose, that you give access to.
You cannot. No.
Women can't cook.
Hang on a
Not
minute.
you, my
Women
sister.
But I can cook. I
Speak to
can
your
cook.
brothers.
Hang
And
on
the
a
thing
minute.
is,
Andrew Tate,
I'm not
speak to
even.
your brothers. They don't know how to do
listen,
nothing.
I'm not
Can I
even
say something?
saying.
Guys,
Can I just say
we
something?
have to do one at a time.
Can I just say something? This is why you can't blame all men for your poor choices. You
Yep.
can't say, I'm talking to both of you because you're saying, yeah, my man can't do this, my man can't do that. What? And you want to settle down. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted
Yeah.
him to do?
Exactly.
My man could do all the blue
I
jobs.
need a man.
Because
that
most
is
men grow up with a
father. All the blue
PlayStation
jobs.
instead. Most
No.
men grow up with a
Okay,
PlayStation
it's the men
and
that you're
porn and
choosing.
things.
No, it's
No,
not.
that's the truth.
It's not. It's
speak
not.
speak for yourself.
Speak for
That's the
yourself.
man- That's the man you
Listen,
pick.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I don't need a mechanic.
Yeah, when you hear women saying stuff like that, just know they fuck broke niggas. And that's the biggest tell sign. Like, you fuck with bums. When you start hearing the bum trauma, and they're like, oh, they be on the the PlayStation. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. All you do is you know, pull out your violin. Like, I'm sorry that you fucked around with bums who don't know how to take care of business. But don't put that on all men.
Mechanic
just
and my
saying.
boyfriend.
You know what?
I need a father to my children. I don't need.
Do you know something, right? She needs a
police
father. Hang on a minute.
officer.
She needs a father for her children, right? So she's
Yeah.
gonna go out there, right? And you're gonna buy your child an electric car. You're gonna go and buy your child a bicycle. Who the hell's gonna put out the bicycle and fix the electric car? Who's gonna do it?
You got YouTube. I know how to do these
Bro,
things. I fixed
So
the
why do you
Bentley
need a
before.
man? Why
I
do you need
fixed
a
the
man?
Bentley.
And you can
Auntie.
do everything yourself. Go and get some sperm donor or something because you obviously don't need a man.
That's
Because-
the future, I
and the
think,
thing
you
is,
know.
no, it's not- the future for who?
No, of
That's
like
the problem.
society.
Because at the end of the day,
Auntie,
right,
what
listen,
year are you
hang
living
on.
in?
Yeah, the future for who? That's an amazing question. Because as you can see, the traditional woman in the room, her just pearly things, that's not a future they're interested in. They want no parts of that.
The
What
year that
year
you're
are
supposed
you
to be
living
living
in?
Because
Like,
hang on a
you
minute.
act like
Wait,
we are in the
guys,
Stone
guys,
Age.
guys,
Let me
guys,
finish
one at a
talking.
time,
Let me
one at a
finish
time.
talking, right? Now, you got a man, right? And you've been busy all day, right? And you're in your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. And your man comes in with all of his friends and said, oh, babes, all the friends are here. They're hungry. What you going to do?
Yeah, I'll cook for my man. I'm a traditional
No, you
woman in
wouldn't.
that aspect.
In
I
what
love
aspect?
No, you
cook
wouldn't.
for my
Why is it that
man.
when people
If-
start
if
cooking,
if
they
you're-
think that cooking is traditional? It's everything. It's not just about cooking.
But-
they always say, oh, I cook for my man, so I'm traditional.
I have a
No, no,
question.
no,
I have
no,
a
but the
question.
point is,
Wait.
I don't-
I have a question. Are you virgin? If you're traditional, you're virgin.
Are you a virgin?
No,
no,
I
that's
said,
it, that's
I
it.
said
No.
in that aspect. I'm not gonna comment on me being a virgin or not. But what I'm gonna say
You're sitting here saying that you love dick. We know you're not a virgin.
is every human being should be able to cook.
She's a
Man
she's a
or
hybrid
woman.
of tradition and
I'm a person
modernization.
that survives.
No such thing.
You know, I need to cook to
Right.
survive.
Can I ask Mr. Tate something, right? Right, I'm going to ask you something.
Sure.
Right, because I can't. I don't like bullshit, right? And there's certain people that I can't
Why are you
even
so
bear talking
excited,
to, right?
man?
So I'm going to talk to him because so far he's talking sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
You're
giving
welcome.
pick me.
Right.
Oh shit.
Who said pick me? Listen, who just said pick
They
me?
want me. Don't look
No,
at
did
me.
you
oh.
say
I said
Did
it's
you say
giving
pick me?
pick
Hang on.
me.
Give him
Because
pick
we're
me.
having a whole
Listen, right,
conversation
listen,
And you're
right?
like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Mr.
Hang on a minute. I've been with my man for 32 years.
Clap for
right?
yourself.
32 years. I don't need to clap for myself because I'm happy. I'm not here. And what I was going to ask him, right, is how would you think a woman? Would you think
Why are you
that
shouting?
woman?
Can you
Would you
calm
think that
down?
woman?
And you see, now she wants her to calm down, not when you're sitting here insulting her. And this is what I mean. You'll never see a man call another man a pick-me. You'll never see a man who's out here, you know, goddamn, dressing some real nice designer clothes, real nice car, you know, real nice wristwatch, pulling all the ladies. You'll never look at him and be like, look at him. He's a pick-me. And if you are doing that, we have a word for that. You're hating. You're hating. And it's not a good look. What's wrong with wanting to be picked? What's wrong with competing and wanting to be picked? I'm telling you, there are a lot of flaws with today's thinking patterns. It's just flawed. It doesn't make sense. We've made it cool to not want to compete. We've become so complacent.
Just calm down. I'm loud. I'm naturally. You don't want to hear me shout. Anyway, Mr. Tate, like I was saying before we got rudely interrupted, right? Now, is this your idea of a woman that you think deserves a man? I'm here, single, but I'm looking. I'm here. I'm like taking. You know, if you want to hook me up, let me know. And I just want anybody, but choose. How does that
doing
make you feel?
interviews.
What is that kind of woman that you think deserves a man?
Well, he's
She's
a top
easy.
G. You can't be asking him this
But
question
you
about
don't
us
want top
mere
Gs,
mortals.
innit?
We're mere mortals,
Speak
auntie.
for yourself. I'm no mere mortal.
Definitely
I'm a mere
speak for
mortal in his
yourself.
presence.
Yeah.
Because
Speak for
nobody-
yourself.
nobody
Come on
above
now.
me. I
Which
am
kind
not a
question
mere
be
mortal.
that?
Only the
Unlike
Lord.
you,
I'm not a
we
mere
have
mortal.
options.
I'm a mere mortal.
Unlike
Let's
you,
do this man.
we have options.
Even
auntie.
this 8.5.
That is the most
If you have
stupid
options, then
thing.
where's your ring?
That is the most stupid thing.
Because I actually can choose. I've not found a man that I want to be with.
Hang on a minute.
Okay, I know your reality. I know your reality is you gotta beg a man to keep you.
Hang on a minute. You said, unlike you, I
Yeah.
have options.
We have options. Yeah.
You're out here looking for a man. You're out here saying that you're looking for a
When
man.
did I say I was looking for a man?
Oh my gosh, you was at the advertising when we done the introductions.
You're
Oh,
doing
that's what you said.
interviews.
I said I was doing
That is what you
interviews.
said.
I didn't say I was going out
Oh
looking for
my
a man. I said
gosh.
I'm doing
Hang on a
interviews.
minute.
You can't
Yeah, she's doing wee-wee interviews.
Listen,
I'm gonna decide if I want you.
Mr. Tate, listen to this insult, right? Listen to the
I'm not insulting you.
Hang on, listen.
She definitely is.
Sign language. What I'm learning. Sign language. Right? Listen to what she just said to me. Unlike you, I have options. Fucking 32 years. You think I want options? I'm happy with my
It's
man.
giving you don't really
I'm
have
happy
much
with my-
options though, because the way
No,
you're like,
it's not
my
pick me.
appetite-
Who do you think has more value? Who do you think men look at and say, "Oh, that's a real woman"? The woman taking wee-wee interviews who has options? What type of options? Netflix and chill options? She has the option of somebody who is literally willing to go to his deathbed with her. Like it's not even close. The options you have pale in comparison. You have men who don't even know how to change tires in your corner. Like, shut up.
Auntie,
Okay, okay.
she meant clout. Wait. She meant
chosen so bad.
Esther. I'm sure you didn't mean pick me. You meant clout chaser. Is that what it is?
Clout chaser. She's 54 years old. She don't give a fuck about clout.
You could go with that too.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to clarify your problem. I was just saying.
Okay, wait,
Because
wait.
you
So,
lot have totally
just-
lost
I
it.
just-
Why would I want to have options when I've been in a happy relationship for 32
No,
years?
clout chasers his fans.
It don't make no sense.
I just
You can
I'm-
monetize on
I'm
YouTube
just
with
trying-
clout.
Why are you calling her
Okay.
a pick me when you were the one advertising at the beginning of the show?
I said I'm doing interviews. I wasn't advertising
Okay.
nothing.
Okay,
It's
what is-
banter.
Wait.
Do you guys understand what an interview means?
Okay.
What you-
All right.
what you-
Okay.
She's being spicy, guys. Stop it.
And she
She's
had a
heard.
question for Andrew.
Oh yeah.
What was your question?
Oh, she asked already.
He didn't answer because everybody's too busy
Don't
jumping.
ask your question
Everybody's too busy
then.
jumping in. I already asked, but you're not too busy jumping in and being women.
He's
to be
patient.
listening. So
He's
now
ready
you,
to get
now you
married.
can all shut up and let him answer, innit?
I'll answer. Yeah. So to go back to one of my earlier points, firstly, to make it clear in the disagreement, I agree with. Of course, I think everyone knows who I agree with, but I do, because you know what it is though. You know what's actually funny? The things that she's saying are common knowledge 20, 30 years ago. This is how the world functioned. This is how the whole world functioned. The things I say that somehow people believe are controversial are exactly the way the world functioned in like the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. All of the entire period of human history, men had a role of masculinity, women had a role of femininity. We worked as a team. Now the world's come along and they've destroyed and broken everything. And there's this new progressive think and this new generation of women who seem to believe that if we completely fuck it all up, it's going to end up better. And my argument to that is, listen, we went from walking around in fields in small nomadic groups to building cities, to building the pyramids, to going to the moon. We managed to go from a few thousand to billions of people, populate the entire planet, build canals, build skyscrapers, cities. All of this was done based on the back of man being a man, woman being a woman, working together as a family.
And now it's destroyed.
Now they're going to come along and fuck it up.
If it's not broke, don't
It's
fix
destroyed.
it.
It's been destroyed. Man has destroyed Earth. What are you talking about? It's been bad decisions from powerful men that got men to go to wars and from women to lose husbands.
Men built.
Men make decisions for war.
Listen, please.
Men kill men.
Please listen to me. Men built the earth. I'm not saying men are perfect, but the entire world that you're existing under was built by men.
Yeah, it's
all
true.
of it. So, and the point I'm making is now we're entering a world of new think. And that the problem with new think is it's not tested. I don't give a shit what anyone's opinion is. What I can state as a matter of fact is we had 5,000 years of history that tells us how the world works with X and Y together. We're now entering a new paradigm. There's no 5,000 years of history. So whatever you believe about how it's going to work or it's going to be better or worse, whatever, that's just you guessing. Everyone is guessing, right? So we're entering a brand new paradigm and everything's completely fucked up. The point you were making earlier, which is a fantastic one about if I'd pick a woman who's advertising, et cetera, men always, please keep this in mind, especially if you're a female. People always say, the number of emails I get from girls who say you don't give enough girl game. I'll give you girl game right now. Your man wants status. That's what he wants. You need to find a way to make him look good to the world and to his friends.
So how do you do that?
I'll tell you, one of the ways a man can get status is to get the girl that no one can get. That's a very simple way, right? So
I said not ready to mingle. I did right.
Okay, no, but this is the truth, right? If I date
But you've
a
already
girl
mingled.
and she's perfect in every way, head to toe, and then I'd say, I met this girl. Yeah, she's this, she's this. Oh yeah, I took her for a date. Even if you didn't fuck her, did you fuck her? No, I just went for a date. So you went. The attraction goes from this to zero, done. And it may not for some men, because some men haven't got choices. But men like me who genuinely have unlimited options, we want complete exclusivity. That's what we're looking for because that gives status. That's what you're looking for. So you have to be very careful as a female with all of your actions, all of your interactions with your boyfriend or when you're looking for a boyfriend, et cetera, and say, am I going to make my man look better by doing X or look worse? Simple things. I've had endless arguments about girls' nights out, right? Oh, you're insecure. Da, da, da. It's not about insecure. I don't give a fuck if no man talks to you all night long. I don't care if you're going out and you're going to an all-girl club. I don't care. I know that when my boys say, oh, all the girls are going out, and I say, not my girl, she stays home. I look good. That's it. She stays home. She doesn't go out. She doesn't want to go out without me.
Amen. And you see, the real women, when you start moving like this and you start vetting women correctly and you start getting quality women in your life, the real women, they love making you look good. They love making you look good. And you love making them look good. And you have a healthy relationship. They wouldn't dare think about doing anything to disrespect you because they respect you and they want you in their life. It's a very simple concept. But what you deal with now is a lot of women, they don't care about making the man look good. They've been taught that, hey, I'm gonna do me and he's gonna deal with it. I'm a boss bitch. I'm gonna do me and he's gonna deal with it. And they're alone. There's no other way to put it. They're alone.
That's status. It's not about the night out. It's about the status of being the man in the house. That's what a man wants. He wants respect. He wants to be the man of the house. I say she stays home. She stays home. Big G. Boom, boom. That's what we want.
Can I ask you something? What does the woman want in your eyes? What do you think? And what's the game you give for the boys?
I'm going to tell you, but before that, I need another Clementine, and I need to give half to our friend here because she just rolled her eyes at me. And I'm perspicacious. I notice everything. She doesn't realize that I'm a ninja. I detect these things. Even when I'm looking directly ahead, I can detect it. So I'm going to give her some of my Clementine, and she's going to feel better.
And this is what's crazy. We're 46 minutes into this thing, and Brittany Renner really hasn't said a word. And I want you guys to understand, this is one of the figureheads. She's on the Mount Rushmore of this whole, slut walk. And she hasn't been able to say a word. A lot of people can talk about the guys who have respect for Andrew Tate, but at least in situations like this, he shows up and he speaks facts. It may not be what you want to hear. A little bit of it might be exaggerated, for, just for entertainment value. But he speaks the truth He's not going to say anything crazy. And on top of that, if he did, men would hold him accountable and say, oh, we don't agree with that. Anybody else notice that?
So I'm going to get a Clementine for you. Would you like some Clementine, my dear?
I'm sure.
You want some Clementine?
I think for me, it's like,
I asked you a question. Would you like some
I would
Clementine?
love some.
You
Yeah.
want some Clementine?
Yeah.
We're going to hook it up.
Okay.
Clementine's coming. All right. Go on. Continue.
Okay. What?
No, I mean, I just feel like this is definitely a different conversation for me because I'm very open-minded. I love hearing different perspective, and I do feel like this is a newer idea. Like you said, within the last 30, 40 years, this is a new concept. We don't know how it's going to end. I just know from like my experience, other women that I've met as well, it's like the reason for even like relationships why they're not lasting is because people don't want to put up with the disrespect. And like even when you were talking about like, oh, it's okay for me to cheat but not for you, my thing is like, why not have transparency and have it be polygamous, polyamorous, whatever works for you? That's like, to me, where it loses me with the traditional stuff.
I get it.
It's
All
like,
right.
why can't we have transparency?
okay.
And if I sign up for that, cool.
So how does it? No man in a million years. Let's all be realistic, right? No man in a million years is going to meet a girl he likes and go, I want to be polyamorous. Like, come on, that's gay. Let's cut this bullshit. So let's be realistic. How does a man show love to a woman? Tell me.
Exclusivity.
Wrong. That is how
Time, resources,
Wrong.
and something else.
Time, resources. So
Yeah. Yep.
that's a good way to start. So sexual exclusivity is how a female shows primarily that she is interested in a man. He's the only man who has sexual access to me because I can get pregnant, and this man is the only man who can do it. That's how it's done. A man, yes, I'm not saying all men can cheat. I'm not saying all men should cheat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I truly love a woman, she won't sit there and go, he shows me his love because he doesn't fuck anyone else. She'll sit there and go, he shows me his love because my bills are paid, I'm in a Bentley, I fly private, I go to Dubai anytime I want, I have a Chanel bag. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about resource and a lifestyle as a whole. This is not just me. This is the world and most of the world today. If you go to Moscow and you find a big G, a rich guy, right? He has his wife, she's pushing a Bentley, she has the kids, she's living in a mansion, whatever. When he goes to the club with his boys, you think he ain't with 19-year-old strippers? Of course he fucking is.
Can I ask
But
you-
she's just like, whatever, don't care. I'm the one who has the money. Don't give a shit. So you have to sit there, and to a point, you have to sit and analyze the difference when you're saying disrespect. If you're gonna go through life as a woman and say, I only care about the sexual exclusivity of my man, then what you're gonna end up doing is having a bunch of failed relationships and fucking loads of dudes.
Okay.
There has to get a point where you go, you know what, this guy ticks so many boxes. Once a year, twice a year, he's out with his boys, does some dumb shit. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't notice because my bills are paid. I'm looked after. I can tell he cares about me. If I have a problem, he's gonna fix it. He's ticked so many. That's the smart female move, as opposed to go, I don't care how good he is to me. He fucked that bitch once, so I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch anyway, and then I'll get another man who I don't love who'll fuck another bitch. So end the cycle of dumb shit.
Can I
They just
ask-
have to bite the bullet.
But more mild examples, though.
Wait. I have a question. Is there ever cheating that's too far? Like, so if a guy cheats on a girl, is there ever a point where she?
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of cheating. There's completely a lot of cheating.
So
that's too
like,
far.
if he knocks up another girl, would you say that's too
all right,
far?
all right. So
Yeah.
for
Kevin Samuels said it the best, man. You don't bring home any kids. You don't bring home any diseases. And you don't let it be known. You can't let it be in the forefront. Like, she can't be out here making public statements, making y'all look bad. You got to keep it under wraps.
first things first, I'm a man of my word. I don't even think I'm a liar. So here's your Clementine.
Thank you.
And he peeled it. What a
Thank you.
gentleman.
I'm a gentleman. Right. So obviously, I'm not saying blatantly disrespect your woman, right? She's your woman. She's your queen. She's the most important thing in the world to you. She needs to be treated in a way that she feels that, right? But it's unfortunate because I keep tying back to this baseline point. But the reason I keep going back to this baseline point is to try and explain to everybody at home how simple the world can be if you go back to the baselines of it. Why do men cheat? Most women don't know. You'll see them all the time. Why do men cheat? Oh, because men are just stupid. And why do men fuck girls uglier than their main chick? Why do men do all this stuff?
They had
Do you
a
know
moment.
why? I'll tell you why. Let's go back to the first thing I've been saying this whole time. Status. Yeah, that's my chick. She's home. Took this one home. Yeah, I got that one. She's chasing me.
That's
Status.
dead.
Status. But it's stupid to females. I get it. But that's the male world because sexual access is an easy indicator of status. So that's one of the reasons they do it, right? So you have to go back into the baseline of why men even cheat in the first place. I'm telling you, if you're a woman, the smartest thing you can do is look after your man, make him not want to cheat, be perfect. But there's going to be a time across a 20-year marriage you might just need to be a little bit blind. A little bit. Just a tiny bit. Just don't look at his phone.
So
And
what
you'll be cool. You'll be cool.
so-
Just make sure the bills are paid. He does his job as the man.
What
Now,
if
I'm
you
not
can
saying-
pay your own bills, though?
But this is it. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not saying allow this for some fucking Joe Schmo. I'm not saying let some fucking loser pick you up, lock you down, and go cheat
That's
on you.
right.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he's a G and he's doing enough of his other jobs. As for you saying, what if you can pay your own bills? Then what's the reality you face? Just like I described earlier, I'm going to decide that the thing that I prioritize above everything, above his resource, above the amount he cares for me. You'll see men cheat on a woman and then cry his eyes out trying to get that woman back. He still loves you. It's not the same as if you cheated. He loves you with all his heart. He'd die for you. He'd take a bullet for you, and he'd still fuck that bitch. Doesn't matter. It's a different game for men, right? So you're sitting there going, well, I'm going to prioritize his sexual exclusivity over all of his other attributes. You're just going to end up having endless failed relationships, fucking too many dudes, and then what's going to happen is your psychology is going to break, because females don't like to accept the fact that if you sleep with enough men and you get rid of the stigma around a new dick, your instant answer is constantly new dick. He didn't text me today, fuck it, someone else. He was rude to me, fuck it, I'll cheat. He was this, I'll get a new boyfriend.
That's what Brittany Renner does. And then you go online and document it on TikTok. That's what they do.
And then you end up just jumping on cock all day and you're fucking done. You need to, the reality is, you have to come to a point where you get a guy and he ticks boxes and you're like, you know what, I'm wifey, I got the Bentley, he does whatever he does, but my bills are paid. That's
so
it.
When would you say
Fair enough.
when would you say it's too far? I'm just curious if there's a line that you would, like, if he spends money on another girl, if he, like, when does it?
Okay, that's a good question.
And second question, do you think that men ever fall in love with side chicks?
Very good question. And this is a long and in-depth answer, but it's a good question. Let me peel my clementine. But no, but it's a good question. Where is too far? I think publicly disrespecting is too far. So like you'll notice. Let's take the Moscow G. All right, let's take an oligarch, a billionaire from Moscow. He has his wife. He has the girls he's in the club with. The girls he's in the club with wouldn't fucking dare message his wife. They wouldn't dare step out of line. Like, they know their place, right? So if there's a hierarchy and they know their place, that's one way of doing it. Spending money on a girl, certainly, yeah, because men show love primarily through our hard work. Not just through our resource, but through our hard work. If you take a man who's not particularly rich, he shows his wife love by getting up every day, going to work 9 to 5, working his ass off, and paying those bills. That's how he shows love. That's why he does it, for his wife and his children. Most men are out here working bullshit jobs, carrying trash. They're doing that to show love. So giving money, yeah, that would be a far more scary indicator than just sex. Let me give you all an example. I don't know if you all know my history, but I used to run a webcam business a long time ago. Don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But I had a bunch of girls who used to sit online and talk to guys, and they had laptops, right? This is a long time ago. And I used to sit and say to some of the webcam girls, I'd say, this man who is sitting in and logging in every night and sending you money every day and telling you he's obsessed with you from the other side of the world and missing out on time with his family to sit here and talk to you and send you money, that is more cheating than if he just went out and banged something. If he went out and banged something and came home, then done. But he's sitting here giving you his time, his money, his affection. That's cheating for a man. For a man to sit there and give money and time away, right? Yeah. So you have to stop this idea of sexual exclusivity. Yes, that's for females. That's how females show their love to men. It's not how high status, at least, males show their love to females. And anyone who wants to disagree with me, call me wrong, call me misogynist, whatever bullshit. Look at a history book. Every king, every sultan, every conqueror, every emperor, every knight, all of them had maidens, wives, all of them. That's history.
What level of G do you have to be allowed to cheat?
Well, it's not about even being allowed to cheat. I'm not even saying that. And it also depends on the partner you're with. I'm not trying to sit here and advocate for men to run around and fuck a bunch of women. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're doing.
No, but I'm not.
No. Let him explain. Let him land. Let him land. It's about to come. Now, one sister, let him land.
No, but I'm not. What I'm actually trying to do is describe the baseline unfortunate realities of human dynamics. And I'm trying to explain now to the world that any woman can get a man who will not cheat on her if she's prepared to sacrifice a bunch of other things, perhaps, right? In the olden days, it was different. The world was a different place. It was a completely different place, and it was better. Now it's all fucked up. It's fucked up on every level. And men, especially the high status men, most of them have struggled so hard to become high status. They've been through so much shit to get where they are. It's like telling him, if you climb this mountain, you can go to a candy store. And he climbs to the top of the mountain, and the second he's in the candy store, after one piece of candy, that bitch is saying, no more candy. He's like, no, I just climbed this mountain. I just got rich. I just went through X, Y, Z. I finally got here. I'm finally in the candy store. Now you're telling me I can only have one piece of candy?
And that goes back to what, Auntie was saying about, the specific type of women who only want those high value men. This is what Auntie was saying. if you want a man who's high value, understand what comes with it. Just like how if a guy, he wants to get with a 10, okay, well then you better have some money. You better have some resources. You know, you better have some power if you want to get a woman like that. Men understand that, you know, you get what you give.
Okay.
What man's gonna agree to that?
Do you think that men owe a woman loyalty if she was there from the beginning?
Definitely.
Absolutely. They absolutely owe that woman loyalty.
Oh, sorry, sexual loyalty. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Sexual exclusivity is different. Sexual exclusivity and loyalty are completely disconnected for males. Nobody wants to talk about this, but it's the unfortunate reality. It's true. I'm telling you, you can get a man, he can go on a holiday, can fuck some stripper, can come home, and you can lie detector test him. Do you love your wife? Would you die for your wife? Would you take a bullet for your wife? He'll pass the lie detector test.
Very
he
true.
loves her with all his heart. He'd do anything for her. It's just pussy. It's not a big
Okay.
deal. It's
But
different.
I feel like, I guess my question would be then is like, how do you view sex? Because I like sex at the end of the day is spiritual unification. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different stuff. I've had a lot of different experiences where I did not value myself. So I never had a man that valued me. So it's like, yeah, you rack up guys and guys you shouldn't be texting back or whatever. But I feel like I understand that there is a difference with how men view sex and how they move around in the world. But it's like, sex is a sacred thing, no matter a male or female is doing it. So that's why for me, like
It's not a sacred thing, Brittany Renner. When you go and make tell-alls about it, it's not a sacred thing. When you go on TikTok and talk about how you slept with 3 different ball players in 1 week. This is what I'm saying. The victim, the way they try to victimize themselves, or the way they try to make themselves look pure when they live unpure lifestyles. You know, traditional women understand, hey, I may think that sex is all this, I may think it's all that, but hey, the way that men view me, my value is going to get lowered. So I want to lower how many times I have sex. That's how traditional women think.
biggest, like, the hardest for me to understand is like, this is such a sacred thing, and it's just it's like taking a piss
Not to
for
you.
a guy.
Can I just say something? You sure you weren't making love to somebody that was having sex?
I'm sorry?
You sure that you weren't making love to somebody that was just having sex?
Hey, auntie, that's a nice. That's
Have
good
I-
skin there.
No, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like as women, they make love
Mm-hmm.
to men that are just having sex.
Right.
That's the difference.
That's
Yep.
not the point.
But my thing is, okay.
Not all the time.
So I think when men hear that though, it's like if it was sacred to you, you would have waited till you were married.
But it's
And
like
think that's
right. No, I get
Yeah.
that. But the reality is that the world is not so black and white. So I understand that there are these things in place that worked and made sense, and now we're approaching an era that like we don't know what's going to happen. But there's gray area. You've had sex, I've had sex, she's had sex, we've had sex with different guys. That doesn't mean that we're damaged goods, we're used goods. I understand status is a big part of that. I understand that sex is viewed differently, but I feel like you should not. If you're looking at face value, I can understand why you would be judged from your past. But if I'm a guy interested in you, I don't care about what you've done.
But that's
this
the
is
thing. Like men do though. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Like a virgin's more valuable to a man than a girl that's had sex with multiple men.
And here's the ugly truth about that is, put it like this, whether women want to accept it or not, you hear a man who's had sex with everybody in the office or whatever, you know, that man's on top of the world. You may think he's a hoe or whatever, but you know, like, hey, can't no woman say nothing about you getting with him because shit, you was with him. You know, and I feel like women would rather have a guy when they bring them to their friends, because let's be real, the friends are the deciders nowadays. The friends will either talk a woman into being with a man or talk a woman into leaving that man. And that's just how they pass time. I'll tell you right now, women would rather have a guy that all their friends are like, yes, girl, I would get with that. You're lucky. They'd rather have that guy than to have some guy who's safe, who's just a placeholder. So you can sit here and argue and say, oh, I don't care what a man's done or whatever. It's completely different. It's completely flipped when you're talking about a man and a woman. Men and women are not the same. And I don't think Brittany Renner truly understands that. I don't think she's ever going to understand that.
Like, it just is what it is.
There's a limit.
But the modern man's solution is not a virgin. A modern man needs a partner, somebody that is actually smart and can survive in the world of today.
But I'm saying the men with
and
the
that's
most-
going to
the
be a
men with
lived
the
woman.
most-
I don't think there's any guy out here who is expecting to get with a virgin unless he is just rich and has a fucking passport. I mean, we live in the modern days. I mean, come on now. You know, the average guy has a body count limit, okay? And also, the average man, he cares about word of mouth. If the girl is secluded, we'll even go as lenient to say she may have had a 304 phase when she was in high school or whatever. If it stays sewed up, I'm talking sewed up, to the grave sewed up, then there's no problems. But when you have these women who literally have TikToks or Instagram posts, literally it's one of their things, it's one of their niches to get on here and talk about sexual experiences, story times and whatnot. That's disgusting to a man. It turns a man off. Simple.
The men with the most choice are going to pick women that are more pure in general.
The ones that are already self-made, I guess so. But that's the thing. The reality the reality is that there's a lot of men out there, especially in the world that we live in today, that need a partner. So it's time for those masses of men to start respecting women for the role they can play in their lives.
I don't think average men expect women to be virgins.
Do you know what it is?
But it's this rhetoric that actually then is pumped into these minds and creates what people now complain about, the misogynistic world.
No, do you know
that's what it is. Even in schools, it's like permeated through it all and perpetuated.
Why is it misogynistic for men to prefer women that are more
It's
pure?
not that it's, but it's not, that's not the problem. The problem is now, listen, the maths is very simple. You've got people like Andrew Tate talking about these things with such clarity, and it makes so much sense because it is true, right? And then you have men that are in these situations where just average, working an average job, and they cannot fulfill whatever definition is called to be a man in these
Yes, they can, and that's what he said. He did say that. Yes, they can. A 9-to-5 man can do it.
But then again, wait. This is the thing. What we're talking about as a man, and this is why I say it's very important for us to understand the person that we're speaking to. And I'm very glad that you clarified everything that you mean. Not every man is like Andrew Tate. Not every man is going to be able to even realistically demand for certain things from a woman. So the same way women need to compromise if it comes to a man who is going to cheat on her because he's a top G, is the same way men are going to have to compromise and stop blabbing about purity.
Yeah, and it happens.
You didn't get none of what you didn't get none of what
I made my point. That was the whole point.
What point? Well, duh.
You didn't make a point.
You just said about his thing, and you didn't.
Not only did I get clout, I made my point. I said the average man does not have what it takes to demand for a virgin.
Hang on a minute. He already said that.
He's already said that.
I reiterated in my own words for my own content for my page, and
do you
so
know what it is, right? Is that too many women, they see regular guys and they feel they're settling. You're not settling. You're getting what you deserve.
But you can't be asking.
You're not
for a
settling.
virgin, though.
You're not settling.
And here's the crazy thing. What's happening is even the average guys are like, we don't want this shit. The average guys are waking up. They don't want that shit. So even Kevin Samuel said it the best. Okay, men will go down in looks for cooperation. You know, a 7 who's submissive has way more value than a 10 who's masculine.
But the difference is men know this. Like most average men aren't demanding.
The average men never said they were virgin.
But the difference
But that's what Tanalva's saying.
Wait. The difference is average men know they don't deserve a 10. They know they don't deserve an 8. They know they don't even deserve a 7.
And they still go messaging them on the stories and all this dumb stuff that is just ugly.
Like most men in history haven't even reproduced. And so it's like men know, but the women are the ones that are delusional.
There's regular men out there. There's regular men out there.
Chris Hemsworth.
There's regular men out there that will have you down.
Yeah, but can I just say, people are watching Tate, not understanding that Tate is part of that 1% of success.
And you see, and this is disrespectful to men. No. Men know. Men understand that Tate is the top G. Men know because men are accountable. You have to be aware of where you are as a man, because if you're not, like Andrew Tate said, society will mind you quick. As soon as you wake up, when you go on Instagram, when you check your phone, society will let you know that you're a bum and you don't have anything.
Think that they can demand the same thing. No, they can demand purity.
One second. Sorry. I understand the point you're all making, but let's understand something. To the sexual marketplace, females have always been, and still to a degree are, the gatekeepers. It's men will, you can think about it in a very simplistic way. This is not the case, but let's simplify it for the sake of argument. Imagine men will run around and fuck anything, and women are the ones who say yes or no. You are the gatekeepers that have all the power. And this is what's actually truly interesting about the sexual marketplace, because whenever women go, there's not enough good men, then why are you fucking, of course, why would they be good if you don't make them be good? You're fucking losers.
That's a good point.
So women, so you're talking about, I'm saying that, you know, a man at a certain level can't do certain things. If you were with Joe Schmo and he wasn't treating you the way you believe Joe Schmo should treat you, then why are you with him?
Leave. Sis, leave.
Like women have the gatekeeping. So if you get Joe Schmo and he treats you like you're his queen and treats you perfect, good. If you get a fucking guy at the absolute upper echelons of value and you still aren't happy with what he's giving you, then leave. Women are the gatekeepers. You women actually have all of the power. This is what's beautiful about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Women are constantly complaining. You have all the power. You're the ones who get to choose. Do you know who you should be mad at for all this shit? I'll tell you who you should be mad at.
The feminists.
You know who threw away all the female power in the sexual marketplace? Promiscuous females. Because now you got chicks who will bang anybody without trying. So why should a dude get up and try?
No,
Do you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, let me make this clear.
Go on,
Do
sir.
you have any idea how hard it is to actually be, no bullshit, a man? And I say this and women go, oh yeah, dude, as soon as most women encounter any kind of problem, the first thing they do is turn to a man. Their man, their dad, the mechanic, the police, a man. If you actually put a woman in front of a problem and go, no men, they're like, oh, whoa, fuck. It's a mental breakdown. Men, day after day, especially if you're a high-level man, let me make it something clear from my life. I'll talk from personal experience. I'm not just looking after me. I'm not just looking after my chick. I'm the guy in about 300 people's phone books that they call when anything big goes wrong. You get arrested in Russia, you need extraction from Ukraine, you need $1 million, whatever it is, Kazakhstan, abduction, they call me. I'm the first phone call. I'm fixing 400 different lives. I'm a problem solver. Chicks can't fix fucking any of this shit, right? This is how hard it is to be a man. And it's amazing because society expects it of you, but so do women. If you had a man, be honest, you had a man and you went to your man and said, oh, I've got this problem. I can't fix this. It's broken. The car tire's broken. And he went, I don't know. You would dry up. Like, you'd be like, well, fucking, what the fucking point are you? That's the truth. You could sit here and go, oh, we'd call a mechanic. No, you wouldn't. You'd look at your man and go, what do you mean you can't fix it?
I'll do it
And this is
myself.
what
Waste man.
and this is what she's saying about your man will get up and go, and you know what's beautiful about masculinity? A bunch of times a man will go up and he doesn't have a clue how to fix it himself. But he'll go, don't worry, baby, okay.
And he'll
stand
figure
up
it
with
out.
no money and no clue. And he'll go out there and fucking try and find a way because as a man, you need to be useful. It is so difficult to be a man. You have no idea the amount of pressure that we're under from society and from the women we even want to associate with. On a whole, it's difficult. So you have to keep all these things in mind. It's hard.
But can I ask you a question? You see what you just said about, the top G, that if they had money, you can fly planes and fly that. Drop it down to if you were earning, like, say, 50,000 a year.
Yep.
Couldn't you be that same person amongst your peers?
100% you could.
That's what I'm trying to say.
100% you could. And also you have to...
Money doesn't make you a top G.
No, money's an amplifier. So that's the first thing about money. Money amplifies. Men can make money. Money does not make men. If you're a dork and you get rich, you're a rich dork. If you're a G and you get rich, you're a top G. Right? So that's the first thing about money. And I agree with you. But traditionally... And this is the baseline. And once again, when I say these things, I'm not looking to be attacked for being misogynist. I'm just commenting on how I view the world and how I see things. Traditionally, a man primarily gives his attention to a female to get sex, and she gives him sex back to get the attention. That's the swap, right? So if I'm a dude and I want sex from a girl, I give her attention, I talk to her, I hang out with her, I spend time with her, eventually I get the sex. That's how it works. But the higher value you are as a man, the more valuable your attention is, the more valuable your time is, the less you have to give. It's like potency, right? So I can give 5 minutes to a chick, and that's worth 2 weeks of some other dude's time. But that's
Amen.
reality. So where you are on the scale is just basically how much of your time you have to give. Now, you can still give all your time to a woman, treat her like a queen, be respected by your peers. She can be happy with you. I'm not saying she will be in fact, I'll argue she'll be happier with that man than she'll be with a fucking guy like me. I'm not even out here saying I'll make chicks happy. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that she'll get the amount of time that she's going to want from that man. The amount of attention is linked to his status. But at a true high-level status of man, it's 2 DMs. Boom, boom. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Done.
This kind of leads into my next question.
All right, guys, let's take a second to hear from our channel sponsor. Florida cops are searching
Okay.
for 2 young women who
So-
stole a 20.
Okay, so let me let them finish this point. and then we're gonna wrap it up because we're going on an hour and 30 minutes here. So yeah. Oh, actually, I think she just made that point. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. This is a 3-hour interview, so there's a lot of pizza in that box. But you know, how do you eat elephant? You know, one bite at a time. We're gonna break it all down. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Till next time.